I'm Dave Casler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG. Here we're looking at some of the comments from my subscribers. This is from Nate Itkin 8279, and it's talking about end-fed half-wave antenna. He says, my understanding is that a standard dipole has about 2 dBi gain broadside to the antenna. That is in free space. And that is the answer that's given in the Amateur Extra book about differences in gain and so on. Again, everything in free space. I truly, in almost 50 years of amateur radio, have yet to meet someone who lives in free space. Even on the space station, you've got all that metal behind you acting as a counterpoise to any antenna that they have. The actual gain of a dipole over an isotropic antenna, if you have the dipole up at its optimum height, which is the wavelength divided in half, is close to 7 dBi. So that's pretty good. Now, apparently the configuration, sloping wire, inverted L, lazy L, inverted V, inverted U, etc., of these end-fed half-wave antennas alters that significantly. Yes, it alters it significantly. I'm not sure I would say that. Now, a standard dipole, which means center-fed, is going to work on its band only. The exception to that is a 40-meter one. You can usually get some 15-meter performance out of it, because 15 meters is 3/2 the half wavelength of the 40-meter antenna. So the radiation patterns are highly dependent on how you set the thing up. Very few people can get a 40-meter antenna up to 66 feet, let alone an 80-meter antenna up to 132 feet. It's just can't be done in most amateur radio operators' setup. So we end up putting them lower. As we put them lower, it changes the input impedance, and it changes the pattern, and you are correct, it tends to lift the pattern away from the ground, okay? So if you have a reference for how to configure these antennas, depending on what you want to do, that would be pure gold. Height matters. Get them up in height. If you have that just parallel to the ground, like I just did with my end-fed half-wave, I put it up about 25 feet, and I've been able to talk all over the world with these things. So they're quite amazing. So there you go. They're all going to work about the same, by the way, in terms of radiation pattern. The radiation pattern depends more on the installation than the fact that it's a dipole. So there you go, 73.